Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? Good morning, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. and I hope you are having an excellent day. I do, genuinely. But also I'm getting my live stuff and running. I don't know, like maybe one day I won't actually be late to my own live stream. I'm always like 2 minutes late. And I know why. It's because I'm busy, but like you'd think I would just not be 2 minutes late. Like just be a drop. Nah, I can hear myself. Give me a second. Okay, past that, let's go ahead and go through this over here. So a few things to go through. Number one, I now have a live stream pulled up. I'm popping out chat, setting it all up. Number two, that's not popping out chat, that's hiding chat, which is not the same thing at all, unfortunately. Number two is going to be that if there are any issues with the quality, with buffering and all that, please let me know, because I had a tech come out, look at it, fix things supposedly, but I think it's better. Let me rephrase that. It seems to be better on my end, but I'm not yet sure if it's perfect. And a lack of perfection is not okay when your job is literally live streaming. So let me know if there are issues so I can call people and yell at them. Make service people feel worse about their lives, because that's genuine. I'm not going to do that. I don't actually yell at people. I usually my standard go-to. Okay, here's my standard go-to. Okay, because let's put this like this. Okay, orient, great. My standard go-to in general in life is when is there a way to up the screen light? Whatever. Anyways, my standard go-to when it comes to things like this is that I usually tell the service tech that I'm working with, like, hey, I am upset at the situation. I'm not upset at you. Meaning, I've gotten 3 different, like, just to give an example. I recently switched to Spectrum. So, Spectrum, just so you know, you didn't take into account that when you gave me lousy service, I'm telling everyone. Anyways, I didn't threaten them that, just so you know. I didn't go to anyone and be like, if you don't improve my service, I'm going to tell my audience of subscribers that you shouldn't use Spectrum. But I will tell you that I've had a bad experience with Spectrum. I'm just not going to use it as a threat. But so far, my issue with switching to Spectrum, the reason I switched to Spectrum recently is they basically were able to save me like $30 a month. I've since found out how. And the process of switching to Spectrum involved, one at a time, me finding out from 3 different people, 3 different stories as to what they were selling me. And by the time I got to the 3rd person, I was like, just so you know, I'm not upset at you. I don't know what is or isn't the situation. What I do know is 3 separate people have told me 3 different things about what service I'm getting. Am I getting fiber? Yes, I'm getting fiber. Am I getting actual fiber? No, turns out you're getting fiber to the house. That's a totally different thing. Am I getting actual fiber to the 3rd person? No, you're not getting fiber. You're getting fiber through the coaxial cable, which is 95% fiber, but it's not the same thing. So the 3rd person, I'm like, I don't have any aggression towards you, but I have been told 3 separate stories. So that's just not a good look for Spectrum. Cue the fact that once I did sign up and whatever, I got issues as well, and it was buffering. I closed YouTube and reopened. Everything's fixed. Good to know. Anyways, they basically had issues day one. The service speeds were actually fine, but there were consistency issues. So things like live streams or meetings were being impacted. Anything in which a live internet is required. Downloading's fine. Streaming's fine. Uploading's fine. Not streaming. Downloading's fine. General internet usage is fine. Uploading's fine. But anything in which the content is directly live, where there is no buffering, where you can buffer a video on Netflix before it loads, that's why I had issues. And I called them, and I basically told them, nothing personal, there's no amount of money that can make me okay with that. I will need to switch back to, because my job is streaming, and I have a lot of video calls. There's just no amount of money that has me okay with having inconsistencies doing live content. And they sent out a tech. Since then, it has been mostly better. But like, for example, I was on a meeting today. I was on 4 meetings today. I've been on 4 meetings today. And one time doing 1 meeting did I have a little hiccup. So I am curious to see how it goes. But ultimately, I'm going to keep the service until, I'm going to keep live streaming, of course. And I'll keep the service as long as it works for live streaming. If it doesn't work for live streaming, hello AT&T, you can have my extra $30 a month because you've earned it. Genuinely, AT&T Fiber, no issues whatsoever with it in the slightest. Love it. Great service. No complaints. Just it is more expensive. That is the flip side. Anyways, let's go through some things. Good morning, everyone. Strap me. Hi, Fins. Robbie. Hi, Sanger. Strap me. Looking forward to seeing you at Level Up Retreat. Brian T. Hello, everyone. Professor Meg. Good time. Hey, Meg. How's it going? Strap me. A wild Meg. Nick. I just bought Oats once in a very good mood, if not a bit poor. Board games have that tendency in all of us. Strap me. 2 minutes late gives us time to gather. Successful. Thank you for, where's my phone? Time to message Jenna. Wait, we already called Catan. We called Catan. I don't understand what's happening here. Me not we. She called Catan. Let's go my messages. Jenna. Oh, call 3D Catan. Whoa. I see what's going on now. Successful Geek would like you to cull 3D Catan. Period. The stakes are getting higher. Period. That's a good point. Tabletop Road. Good morning. I never make it to live streams of playing Ice Fair and Garden until 2 a.m. Has me ready to go. Brian T, thanks for showing up. Remember, look at Level Up to that convention. Yes, Level Up Retreat is going to be February 2nd to 4th. This is basically your last chance to go ahead. There's no actual last chance. I don't know if we close ticket sales at any point or not. I know and told me we are. So you can buy it the day before if you want. But like, I mean, just planning wise, you probably want to plan around it. We have Alpha Gator. It was buffering. I closed YouTube. Fixed. Great. Nick. Good evening, everyone. Afternoon. Is the drive for support giveaway still going? So, Nick, short version is the support drive for Board Game Co. is always ongoing. The thing that's a bit more complicated is the giveaway, meaning effectively at any given point, I have a Patreon, I have a Ko-Fi, I have YouTube membership. At any point, whether one-time support or ongoing support is always appreciated. It is. It's tremendously appreciated. Practically, well, I'm not going to go too far to the rabbit hole. But anyways, as far as the giveaway aspects, one thing I did is I was trying to get to like 5,000 and I got to like 4,200. And so I basically said, hey, here's a bunch of, I will give away some extra games. Meaning I did do a giveaway. If you check out my last week in review, that's when I did the giveaway, which reminds me, I've already messaged 2 people, but I still need to message 3 more. So I haven't actually messaged everyone yet. So I need to do that. But I already shipped out one, messaged the other. The person who won Oathsworn All In, I haven't shipped that out yet. I didn't plan for the fact that I need boxes for the Oathsworn All In. But in any case, I need to go ahead and message the other 3. But there are still 2 games. What I effectively said is, hey, I'll leave this generally open. And if the support drive hits 5,000 at some point in the next month or 2, then I'll still give away the other 2 games, which I believe are, Clash of Cultures. No. Yes, Clash of Cultures Deluxe, and then Too Many Bones, Unbreakable All In. Those are the 2 extra things that I still will give away if the support drive hits a certain amount. But again, the support drive is always ongoing. We're just talking about the extra giveaways on top of it. So check out my links down below. They're always present. Also, thank you. Zombicide, good evening, everyone. It's Gary. Hello, Jacob. Storm Raider, Tobacco, Not Tobacco. I mean, we'll be covering it in our Tobacco, Not Tobacco soon. It looks cool. I want it. You're on the background while I'm painting again. Nova Aetus Renaissance. Enjoy. There are lots of people who paint games before they play them, and I don't understand that at all. I won't even sleeve a game before I play it. I'm going to be like, I will play it first. I will see if I want it in my collection, and then we can talk about sleeving it. And some people are like, we'll just paint the whole game. And more than that. Some aren't even committing to it. They're like, I'll paint this, I will play it, and then 2 games in, they're like, oh, not for me, okay, I'm selling it fully painted, whatever. And like, I guess if you enjoy the process of painting, that makes sense. I enjoy the outcome of painting. I am very much a product person, not a process person. I learned this a long time ago with my mother, which is a weird conversation to have, but a long, long time ago, my mother started learning how to knit. And she was having trouble. I ended up learning how to knit so that I could help my mother learn how to knit. It's a heartwarming story, I know. But, why was this relevant? Oh, yes. So knitting. In knitting, there's a term called a process knitter or a product knitter. A product knitter wants the end goal. I am knitting the scarf so I can have a scarf. The process knitter likes knitting, and they might also end up with a scarf. I am a product person. I have knit 3 pairs of socks, about like 7 scarves, and I don't know what else I've done over there. Not a ton. I haven't knit a ton. I knit enough to help teach her, and then she took off and did more than me at the end. But, yeah, so I've knit things. But the problem is I can never get behind the idea that I was spending like hours knitting a pair of socks, that the wool for that cost me more than literally just buying the socks. So, like, I'm a product person, so when I paint, it's because I want the end result of painted miniatures. I'm not against the process of painting. It's fine, it's soothing, it's calming, but so is mowing the lawn. They're just things that they're not things I actively want to do, they're things I'm okay doing. Large mantra around that kind of thing. Anyways, just change your direct deposit over to Alex. I appreciate that, that's a great idea. Jarl, my day is going great. Jarl, I assume. My day is going great. Finished work, continuing deep diving into old games tonight. Level 7 Omega Protocol for the first time. Wow, enjoy. Have you had any time to look over the Frostpunk rulebook? No, not yet. That is on. So that's going to be a post. So right now, just to give you some context, Alpha Gator. So right now what I have currently is okay. So next week, I'm off the entire next week. I'm going to Legoland next week with the family. And then past that, I'm going to Legoland with the family. Then I'm going to Level Up Retreat as well after that. And so, basically the whole next week I'm out. So I'm just gone. Which means and then Monday the week after that. Which means both on behalf of GameFound and on behalf of Board Game Co., I have been having to prep for all these various things. And there's a lot of campaigns between February 7th and between February 20th. I think those 2 days have a lot of campaigns going up. And a lot of those games are soloable games that I've been going through to a large extent. So we have Dante, we have, I also got Deep Rock Galactic right now, but that I'm going to hold off a drop on, because I think there's no timeline around that one, so I'm going to hold off a drop. But I'm playing through Dante. What else have I been playing through? There's a bunch of these. I've been playing through Dante, Triumph. Some of these are soloable, some not. Vampire the Masquerade chapters. I've been going through that. I've been diving into Vampire the Masquerade chapters a lot. I just got through all the tutorial scenarios, and be diving in now for the full thing, because that has an upcoming campaign as well. I believe on the 20th, I want to say. There's Ostia and the expansion, the Pirates expansion. So there's a lot of things, and that's a small amount. There's Oh my gosh, there's Agamonia, which the review date for Agamonia, where you can actually publish content, is February 6th, so I'm having that go out then. There's going to be a Tainted Grail RPG shortly that we'll be covering. That's going to be a whole homework assignment. There's, oh my gosh, there's more. There's so many things. Right now, between now and February 20th, there are an absolute ton of things that I need to cover, and I'm doing that with a full week less than I need to prep around. So the short version is Frostpunk will likely be happening after Level Up Retreat, almost certainly. Probably after February 20th is when I dive into it. As a soloable game, it's easy to get into, but it will take a bit more time. Successful. Just change the direct deposit of Alex. Yes, I agree. I said that already. Hello, friends. Hello, George. Hello, George. I just found out I'll be able to make a level up next weekend. Brant, I got your Facebook message. I'll answer now because you're here. Why not? I just haven't had... I'm sorry. It's been meetings all morning. And it's been... Speaking of support, speaking of switching your direct deposit over to me, this morning I just found out that I need to replace my furnace. So... yeah, that's this morning's conversation. Basically, my furnace is having a thing recently called delayed ignition. Just delayed ignition, this is a fun little thing to get into, is when your furnace, when it turns on with a boom. Why does it turn on with a boom? Because the gas goes out first, and then by the time it ignites, the gas is accumulated, and so when the gas does ignite, it booms first. Now, it probably will not blow up your house. And by probably, I mean, everything on the internet tells me it won't, but that's still just a probably when it comes to things like fire and ignition. But you do have to have it taken care of. And this furnace is like a 45-year-old furnace, for context. It's like really, really old. When we bought the house, we knew we might have to replace it even then. And every time the furnace has an issue, it's like, is this the time? Is this the time? And so far, we've been fine. This time is the time, apparently. So I had a tech come out, quote me $10,700 to replace the furnace and AC. But the AC is old enough that you may as well replace it at the same time. It is an extra cost, but it's an old AC. It's not new AC. So $10,700. Now, I did get multiple quotes. This is all this morning. This is the morning. Like at like 10:30 this morning, I got a quote for $10,700. I have a friend who works in AC, so I spoke to that friend, and I have a new quote for, I believe, around $7,000 instead, because my friend works in AC, and I trust him, and he's giving me a good price. Both things are true. Meaning, with anyone you do any form of work with, there's both conversations. What is their price plus service? And also, do you trust them? And with my friend, it's both. I trust them, and I'm getting good price plus service. So, yeah, that's my learning as far as the furnace will be replaced with a... well, replaced. That part's good, but a $7,000 bill coming. Have you played Resident Evil? Oh wait, Brant, I was trying to answer. So Brant, the reason I haven't answered, the reason I saw your Facebook message is because this morning I've had 3 meetings, filmed a video, and had 2 different AC people here this morning, so I saw your message and didn't respond. But to answer your message, I saw you're coming to Level Up, awesome. If you have a list of hot popular games that I should take a look and browse through, I'm more than happy to give you answers. We have expanded the library from last year, so I think we're at around 900 titles total. There is a link to the Level Up library on tabletop events, you can check that out. It is not fully populated, it is 95% populated. There's still some stuff that's not, maybe 90%, maybe 90% populated. There's still stuff that's not on the list. We don't yet have barcodes in the system. We need to make it better, but a lot of things are present. There's going to be a lot of hot and popular games, more than enough to keep everyone busy, but if you have some things, by all means, we can have a conversation. I appreciate it. Unemployed lawyer, Alex the interwebs. Is Alex buffering? Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate the buffering. That's 3 people. Okay, 4 people. Okay, well, I'm calling them back and telling them that they have one last chance. One last chance to fix this issue, or it's done. I'll be nice to the tech who doesn't get paid to be yelled at. Okay. Warmstone seems like a rebrand cash grab that I will buy. What do you think? Jacob, that's an interesting question. No, it's not. That's the short version. Meaning, what defines something as a cash grab? This is a... Honestly, I have a whole video coming for this. I filmed a whole video. I think the title is "What is a Cash Grab?" I don't remember if it was... No, it wasn't. It was not inspired by Wormspan. It was inspired by, I believe, Nemesis, Nemesis Retaliation. But... effectively, because I think they had, Nemesis Retaliation had a blog post where they kind of addressed this head on. Disconnect and reconnect and all fix. That's not true. Is it better? Is the internet better? I don't know. Hopefully it's better. Is it? I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with this. Anyways, Nemesis Retaliation, they had a kind of a conversation where effectively they were, some people accused them of being a cash grab or something like that, and they kind of had an update where they're like, our goal is to make money. That is our goal. That is 100% how it works. We are a business and we are trying to make money. But also it doesn't mean it's a cash grab. It means we just continue to make the things that people like. And the people who like them buy the things. And the people who are upset that they exist will call it a cash grab. So I did a whole video called What's a Cash Grab? It has not gone up yet. It will go up soon. I don't know. I have lots of videos in the queue. But effectively, to me, what a cash grab is, A cash grab isn't making something that you already know people like. That's not a cash grab. A cash grab is, to me, when the work that goes into the process of creation is not present equal to what you're trying to charge people, and instead you are relying on the fact that it exists for it to sell, which is a complicated way to phrase it. But effectively, if I say, hey, I'm selling you a Marvel board game, and it's hot garbage, and I don't even try to make it not hot garbage. And to be clear, this is not a conversation as to whether it's right for you or a mass market audience. I just don't care. Because why am I selling it? Because you're going to buy it because it's a Marvel board game. That, to me, is a cash grab. Versus a Marvel board game that has work, thought, and effort put into it is not a cash grab. That's selling people what they like. Is every Call of Duty a cash grab? And some people might say yes. That answer might be yes. But selling people things that you already know there's a target audience for, that's just good business. And the people who are the target audience often want that thing. Why are so many people buying Wingspan? Because there's an interest in something a bit heavier than Wingspan with a dragon theme. There's a clear interest for that. So I don't think that's remotely close to being called a cash grab, unless it's a garbage game. If Wingspan comes out and it's clear that it's broken beyond belief, there's been no playtesting, it's such a huge issue, and the only reason this is selling is because, I mean, honestly, they could literally re-theme Wingspan as Dragon Wingspan, and it's still not a cash grab. It's still just giving people what they want. Every time the OP puts out a new, like, Harry Potter, Death Eaters Rising, or, I don't know, the Star Wars Rising, Thanos Rising, whatever, all those Rising games, and they have 7 different versions of them, that's not necessarily a cash grab, because they're taking a good product, rebranding it. Someone who wants that rebranding will buy it. There's value added at all parts of the level. There's a value to the company, because they're making money. There's value to the IP, they're making money. There's value to the person who'd rather get Thanos Rising than Death Eaters Rising. And yes, there is FOMO. And the FOMO part is where people are frustrated. The FOMO is where people look at it and say, oh, you know, I kind of want to own all the things for this, but I don't actually want to own this thing because it's the same as the other thing, but now I feel like annoyed that it exists because now I want it. And so there can be an accusation around cash grab, which is really coming from the irritation of wanting but not getting a sense of value from it. But I don't consider it a cash grab just because something similar existed. I consider that just good business, but also delivering value. The people who buy it want it. There are a lot of people who are already happy with Wormspan. Yeah, I don't consider it a cash grab. Anyways, next. Buffering, you're getting lag. Don't sleeve games. I feel like I've lost an internet. Well, I lost something. Okay, I don't sleeve games, but I definitely speed paint before playing since I dislike gray miniatures. I play to paint, not display though. Favorite pizza topping? Pineapple. 100% pineapple, not even remotely close. I'm going to find you at level up and have you teach me Scarface 1920. Bob, good luck with that. I'm going to say no. So I like Scarface 1920. Genuinely, I like it a lot. It's a good game. My least favorite part about Scarface is teaching it. My least favorite part. It is a long teach. I can give you the overview. I'll give you the overview. If you want me to sit down and set up the game, and you set up the game, call me over, I'll give you enough of an overview that learning the game will be much, much, much easier. Because I can give you the overview in 2 minutes, okay? There's a few worker placement zones. You go here to this, you go here to this. You need to be mindful of this track going up. Eventually the feds will raid you. I can give you the overview in like 4 minutes. The actual teach of Scarface is my least favorite part. It is like a 35-minute teach, if not longer. It's one of the games I really hate teaching to new people. It does not get tabled as much as I'd like it. It's down here. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the top over there. I don't play it as much as I'd like because I try to play with people who know it, but it's a really good game. I have a very particular set of skills that involve teaching Scarface 1920. That wasn't really the best, but I managed to do on the skills part. At Legoland. Oh yes, Legoland, that makes sense. Yes, indeed. It's nice to take a break from the content grind, but taking breaks, when you are your own boss, taking breaks is just a reminder that you still have to do things. You can't, practically speaking, you can't quit putting out content. I mean, you could to a extent, but there's a price you pay for not putting out content. So at GameFound, I can say, hey, I'm taking my week vacation, and I can mostly ignore things. I'm involved enough that I can't totally ignore things, but I can mostly ignore things. Over here, I can actually take a full break, but I have to put in all that work the week before. So like, it has to happen somewhere. Hello, just starting with board games. Any tips on how to take care of my games? Don't let kids touch the games, ever, unless they're kids' games, because I shouldn't be joking. It depends on a lot of different things, but kids touching games will likely have a result of them being less kind to them unless they know how to treat games. My kids know how to treat games, they're usually fine. Taking care of them, I think the biggest thing to remember is that at the end of the day, it is a game, and the purpose is to be played and enjoyed. I do treat my games well, but if a card gets bent, a card gets bent. Just yesterday, I dropped a card in the process of trying to grab it, I like folded it in half, and I was like, I unstraightened it as much as possible, I put it back, I managed to make myself forget about it until this moment right here, and I'll be fine until I see it again. But ultimately, I'm traveling, so like compact 2-player games. I've done compact games. I've done lots of 2-player game videos. I have not done a compact 2-player games video. I think inherently some of them, I mean, I could do it right now to a degree. Skulls of Southwark, Air, Land, and Sea, you're already good to go, and two of the better ones out there. But it could be, it's starting to get to the problem I have with that. Here's the problem I have with that. I think there'd be so much overlap on games I've suggested in the past that I don't know if it's as value added as I want. It's not a bad idea. I'll probably throw it into my queue of some ideas, whatever, but it's likely not going to be hitting right now because I feel like right now, if I try to recommend cheap games or stocking stuffer games or great two-player games or great small box games or great games that play in under 20 minutes, Air, Land, and Sea is going to be in all 5 of those lists. And at some point, people are sick of seeing, not necessarily sick, but the idea that I recommend Air, Land, and Sea is constantly present. Or Skulls of Southwark will fall into all those categories. So some games will fall into a lot of different categories, and I'm mindful of being like, here's another top 10 list that has me recommending the same games I've always recommended again. So it's a good idea. I'll probably get to it at some point, but I might let time for breathe and one. Time for new games to enter the mix. Alessandro, Alex, will you come to UKG? Second, Jacob on buffering. Yeah, the buffering is going to be a problem. So I'm reading down below. It's going to be, we're going to get a tech person. Apparently we cannot handle live streaming, so we will call the person again. Hey, Alex, will you come to Alex, will you come to UKG? I don't believe I'm coming to UKG right now. It's better now. Top 10 idea. Top 10 games before 2010 that are still worth getting, trying, taking a look at. So that is a good video idea. I actually have a video coming up at some point. I need to finish going through it. But basically, I'm going to be going through like every year. I think I'm doing since I got into gaming. It's every year since I got into gaming, like the 5 best games I recommend from that year. And I don't know if it's exactly 5. I'm putting together the content and I'll iterate the list later. But I just want to go through like, hey, in 2012, here are 5 games I still own from that year and I still recommend. 2013, here's 5 games I still own and recommend from that year. Just showing you like how games have held up over time. It's only happened once so far. Nope, it's happened apparently 3 times is what people are saying now, but I'm behind. We're going to sell Alex's time at Level Up to pay for a new furnace. $250 per hour to play a game of his choice. If it's my choice, I mean, I'll do it for free, but that's a different conversation. Just so everyone's on the same page, I can afford a new furnace. I'll go put it on a payment plan. I'll be fine. It's an interesting situation. Like, money is an interesting conversation, especially when you're asking your audience for money, which I have done and will do. It's an interesting conversation, but I think, and it's hard to say for sure, but I am fine financially. I'm not like, oh my gosh, rich. I'm definitely not, but I'm fine financially. I think I usually feel more comfortable asking for things when there are channel-related expenses. That's usually when I feel more comfortable. Like, oh, I just spent $5,000 on the channel, then I'll ask for money when I drive. I should do so every year because, frankly, that's how you grow to a degree. The whole YouTube position and gig and all that, it pays less than my original job. And honestly, both GameFound and YouTube altogether, basically equal what I got paid in my original job. And that's a pay cut that I was happy to take, and I do more work, and I love what I do. I'm very grateful for life in general. If I'm ever in a hard spot, I will actually ask the chat. I will actually ask. If I'm ever in a tough spot, I'll be like, hey, here's the situation. It's a tough spot. Any support is appreciated. I don't mind asking that. It's a weird relationship in that kind of situation, but it is a weird relationship. But on the flip side of that is I think if I had so much money that I didn't know what to do with it, I don't think I'd still accept money. I'm not stupid, but I don't think I'd like actively run support drives and talk about it in like 7 videos if I was ever like, so overflowing with cash I didn't need to worry. But ultimately, like, if I'm ever in a hard enough spot, I will be fine. I'm good. Like, I don't want to like say the furnace thing and then like have people have to like freak out and worry. Your support is always appreciated, but I'm fine. Shouldn't say things like that with the wrench next to my name. This is not a real thing. Thank you. I mean, I guess Empire Strikes Back and Avengers Endgame could be called cash grabs, but they're also pretty darn good movies. But that's the thing. If you make something that you know people want, that doesn't inherently make it a cash grab. It's when you don't give a fair amount of attention to the thing. If you make a horrible product, but you are trying to make it good, it's still not a cash grab in my opinion. If you make a horrible movie, but your goal was to make a good movie, you were trying to make a good movie, it just didn't land, that's still not a cash grab. A cash grab is like when you just don't put in the effort. You literally rely on the name to sell the thing, and you couldn't care less about the game being good. The concept that you're trying to make a good product isn't even in your mind. You're like, I just want to sell stuff. That's a cash grab. There are levels. My video about a cash grab goes into tiers of how I view art versus desire for money and all of that stuff. So me as a mod, I am stating we are selling Alex's time. By all means, just make sure it's for board games. Otherwise, it becomes a whole different website. Ballbite, also in industry news, have you seen reports of Goliath letting go of all the Prosper Hall employees after buying the company? Yes, but so here, my knowledge here is limited to the people I know in the industry. What I believe I know from the industry, okay, so I'm not quoting any sources, but I know someone who used to work as the Prosper Hall design team. And what I've heard from him, I'm not going to quote who he is, I shouldn't have said him, I should have said them. What I know from him, because I've said it now, is he said that by the time Goliath acquired the Prosper Hall team, the Prosper Hall team is no longer the Prosper Hall team that it used to be. Now, that's not to minimize that I've seen that they've also let more people go or changed whatever it is. So, I'm not minimizing that they seem to have let people go for whatever reason. I'm not judging it either way. I'm not close enough to the situation to know. But I will say that perceptionally, it does seem that whatever that team was, it is no longer that team. Is it half the team? Is it 3/4 of the team? Is it a quarter of the team? Is it entirely new people? That I don't know. I didn't ask questions. I'm just going by what they've said. But so, yes, I've seen that. Also, I don't know if it's as like 100% to 0 as the article might seem. With Queen Games have been doing, that should constitute a cash grab. I don't know if I agree. And I've been critical of Queen Games, make no mistake, but I don't know if I agree. It certainly is closer. I think like most things in life, everything is on a spectrum. And I think Queen Games is certainly closer to the spectrum of cash grab. But like, what product have they, meaning they've put out products to get your money, right? That's a fair statement. They've put out products to get your money. No question. But what product have they put out that constitutes as a cash grab? Like, meaning what have they put out that they didn't try to make good? Have they tried to market you dozens of times? Yes. Have they tried to put their games on crowdfunding in 17 different versions of big box games? Yes. But they engage in aggressive sale tactics. Have they put out new versions of their games? We have the Red Market or the Red Palace, whatever it is, the new version of Alhambra. Yes. But do they make changes to the thing? Do they make it a good game? Yes. Have they reboxed different versions of Alhambra? Alhambra, the big box edition, the design edition, the design and mega box edition? Yes. But those are all under the category of aggressive sales tactics. I don't know if I've seen something that directly I could call a cash grab. Did they remarket an entire line of games with an old designer of out-of-print games and then make them incredibly premium and incredibly expensive? Yes, but there's still good games that were hard to get your hands on and were expensive. So are the games possibly more expensive than I would like? Yes. Do they engage in aggressive sales tactics? Yes. Would I call it a cash grab? I don't think so. I think that to me, here's the difference, and the reason I care about the terminology. To me, a cash grab is almost a disrespect to the work in process, to the work. If you create something people want, yeah. I don't want to disrespect the work and the labor that goes into creating things that people want. Will I call you an aggressive salesperson who engages in sales tactics that I don't like? Yeah, I'll do that. But did you actually create something that you think people want? I think so. It's complicated. It's complicated. And yeah, I think so. Okay, where are we? We got what King Games doing? My 4-year-old getting into board games. What games do you recommend for that age? Ooh, I mean the Chip Theory Games independent play is great. Leo the Lion is fantastic. I love Leo the Lion. Cooperative memory game. I don't usually like memory games, but I love that one. Leo the Lion is really great. My 4-year-old loves that one. Oh, there's 2, but that's just, 2. Epic Brand Sanderson. I think we become so incredibly cynical as society. We're always looking for the bad in everything. Yeah, that's for sure. Life's complicated, but life is complicated. Anyways, Epic Gaming Night. Roy, Alex. Hello, Roy. How's it going? How are you doing? How was the cruise? So, Edme, tax question. When we contribute via Ko-Fi, do you have to pay income tax? I believe so. I assume so. I think that counts. I think it constitutes as income unless I was registered as a charity. So I believe it goes into income. Yeah. I mean, if you want to smuggle me gift cards, we can have a conversation. I still should declare those, but that's less trackable. Why did I say these things on camera? Tsukiyami, I played Horrified American Monsters the other day. It was a bunch of fun. I've had that on my shelf for so long. I requested it as a review copy, which was, I try not to request review copies that often. I do it infrequently, but I do it. But I requested that one because I like Horrified. I was like, oh, let me play the Greek Monsters one. My daughter likes the Greek mythology. Let's do that. And nope, has not been played, but I should do so. Harv K, if you can handle a little spicy, jalapeno is the best pizza topping. Pineapple. Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. I know it's divisive. I don't care. Pineapple. Jacob Justice, since you were alive, you've buffered 3 times total, approximately 10 to 50 seconds each time. Yep, second buffering on me, same for me, on my way. Epic Gaming Night. Oh, on my way where? Will you be doing any coverage of Storm Raiders? I will not be doing coverage for the campaign. They generally have not worked with me. The company behind it hasn't worked. Oh, I guess that's not true, because I technically did coverage of their last game, Dreadful Meadows, but that was incidental. Quackalope had a copy. I happened to play it on TTS and really enjoyed it, or technically on Tabletopia. Yeah, Tabletopia. And because I played it and because there's a copy local to me, I basically was like, I'll cover it. But they haven't actually worked with me, and I don't know if they plan on it. Brand Henderson, what year did you start gaming? 2011, late 2011, early 2012. To the point, by the way, I believe I've said different numbers at different times. I believe I've said 2012, and I believe I've said 2011. I think it was 2011, but I'm not 100% certain. So that's why if you ever hear different numbers from me, it's because I'm not 1,000,000% certain, but I'm pretty sure it's 2011. And to be clear, start gaming meaning go down the rabbit hole. I played other games before that. I played Game of Thrones, the board game, which is a heavy game. I played Carcassonne. I played Catan. I played Axis and Allies. There are other games I've played before I got into board gaming. But I would say that what I consider into board gaming is there was a 1-2 punch around 3 months apart where I played Stone Age and Small World. That someone else introduced me to. I played Arkham Horror before as well. But I played Stone Age and Small World, and I was like, there are 2 games that are back-to-back, again, 3 months apart. I was like, I want to look into this world of games that are out there. And then I went and bought a bunch of games. I don't remember if the purchase happened in 2011 or 2012, but that initial purchase where I just went down the rabbit hole is what I think of as being into gaming. When are you playing more Marvel Champions? I wish soon. Joey Crouch, hello everyone. Hi Joey. Heavy board gamer. I'm currently putting off learning Lords of Ragnarok and Tsukiyomi Full Moon Dawn. Just wanting your opinion on both. I have not played Tsukiyomi. I've only played Lords of Ragnarok during the prototype phase. I did like Lords of Ragnarok. I know it's been getting mixed reviews. Like some people really like it, some people really not. I liked it during the prototype phase. I remember when I played during the prototype phase, I remember my specific chain. I was playing with a bunch of friends. We played through, I believe, 3 games if I recall correctly. And the first game I was like, I'd rather play Lords of Hellas. This isn't bad, but I'd rather play Lords of Hellas. The second game I was like, oh, I'm starting to see this here. And the third game, that was the film gameplay. So if you watch the film gameplay, that was our third game. And I don't know, when I say ours, not everyone played the same in both games. I don't remember. I know for sure one person, I don't know the exact distribution, but I know it wasn't the same people. But that third game is where I was like, I am loving this. And so it was only 3 plays, take that into account, and it was a long time ago in the prototype phase. I am looking forward to playing it again, just I have a lot of games I'm looking forward to playing again. Successful Geek, what are you playing more? I said that. I'd play Champions with Alex. Rory, I will sit down and play Champions with you any single time. Let's go to... Oh, Rory. I shouldn't get myself in trouble. Whenever I see you next, Roy, if you happen to have a window, I'd happily play Marvel Champions with you. Or anything else you have to play for coverage. I'll do that too, honestly. Epic Gaming Night. I just completed my collection of everything. I stopped buying Marvel Champions maybe a year ago. I finally stopped. And I'll get it again, but I finally stopped. Petrified. For anything but the furnace, since we're not supposed to worry about it. Thank you, Petrified. I'm sorry for not calling it out sooner. I saw it pop up, and then I meant to say it when I finished my comment and forgot. Surab me. And that's just your 10th super on the live stream. I didn't know that shows that. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Surab me, Petrified, LOL. Brant, maybe I'll beat you to it, Roy. And hi, friend. Petrified for calling 3D. Hello, do we have Jenna here yet? Jenna's not here. No, Jenna's not here. I mean, the game is still 3 players, right? Right, Brant? I don't know. Anything else would be a travesty? I'm missing this conversation. Petrified, we're going to miss you at Level Up. It's going to be a full crowd. It is getting fuller and fuller. We have convinced. We've been selling a bunch of tickets every single day. It's getting higher and higher. Like, at first, I wasn't even sure if it would beat the last year's numbers. But, like, at this point, I think we're going to be, like, maybe 100 people more than last year. Maybe. I don't know the exact numbers. We'll see where it ends up. We're still selling. Like, we sold another 10 tickets yesterday. So, I don't know when they stop, but we'll see. I want to smuggle gift cards to you. Let's talk offline. I appreciate it. Roy, have you played Earthbound Rangers? Curious about your thoughts on it. We'll find out soon, I guess. Got 5 campaign games on the way yet to play. Where should I start? Bard's Song Descent, Ice of Vanguard, Journeys of Middle-earth, or Resident Evil 2. So there's 2 ways to approach this. There's, do you play the best game first, or do you play the shortest game first? Okay, so I'll answer it both ways. So I'd recommend you play Resident Evil 2, then into the shortest game first order. Resident Evil 2, then Journeys of Middle-earth, then Descent, then Isis Vanguard, then Bard's Song. That's in order of the shortest, okay? So if you're trying to knock them out, so let's get rid of them in order. And that may not be exact, but I think that's a rough order of length. And if you want to play the best first, then I'd recommend Isis Vanguard, and this is my order priority, not anyone else's. Isis Vanguard. I haven't played Resident Evil 2. I've played Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil. But I'm going to say Isis Vanguard, Resident Evil 2, Descent, Journeys of Middle-earth, Bard's Song. I actually like Bard's Song more than the lowest list. I mean, I prefer my first play of Bard's Song to my first play of Descent. I 100% do. But Bard's Song is very grindy. I like the game, but I don't like how much grind there is between you leveling up and getting new fun things. And it's a little repetitive. So I like the concept of the system, but they made it too grindy, which is a problem Steam Force had in the past. And some of their games have it, some don't. I was on my way to help with tech issues. Oh, dear Lord. It's internet right now, Roy. It's internet. There's only so much you can do about internet. I need to play Earthbound. I want to. Yeah, it should be your lane. It's that kind of game. I hope everyone has a blast and should hopefully be able to go to another one again soon. I wish, sadly, I'm only tied to a desk here at Dice Tower. Enjoy the desk, Roy. I hope it's fun. I think the next game that Joey organizes here will bring some Marvel Champions. Yeah, I know. I want to play it. Sorry for hijacking your Q&A. They started asking me all the questions. Please, Rory, you're welcome anytime. You're all good. You got a wrench next to your name. You're like, I think you might be the first person who I wrenched ever. You might have been the second. You might be the second. A long time ago. Like I wasn't even doing live streams on a regular basis back then. It was like infrequent. We are here for you, Epic Gaming Night. Alex streaming is just incidental. I hear that. I believe that. You're going to let me in trouble. That's all good. Who's getting you in trouble? I don't know what's happening. Oh, I am going to get in trouble. Yeah, I know. I am. Do you know when the new Cyclades Remastered Late Pledge will be? I do not, unfortunately, but it is a good game. I like Cyclades a lot. I like the Late Pledge. The Late Pledge felt like a really, not the Late Pledge, the Legendary Edition really felt like they took the best part of the base games and the expansions and gave you a good game. So I'm here for it. Have you tried? Oh wait, a second. Do you know Petrified? Are Button Shy expansions actually worth it? It depends on the Button Shy game. Sprawlopolis, honestly, mostly not. I barely use the expansions for Sprawlopolis. I think it's a great game as is. Skull Select, I use all the expansions, so it really is case by case. Julio, have you tried Zoo Tycoon after release? No, I have only played it during the prototype phase. The travesty of life is that No, this is not the travesty of life. The travesty of my life, even then, barely. One of the travesties of my life that is minor in terms of how bad it actually is the nature of the pressure to play any individual game. So like last night, I played Everdell Farshore. Why? Because Everdell Farshore is a fantastic game and I really enjoy it. There's no pressure for content. There's not a gameplay. I wasn't filming a gameplay. There's no reason to play it other than the fact that I wanted to play it. Those games that I play because I want to play it are usually the best of the best. They're the cream of the crop. They're the ones that I absolutely want to play the most. They're usually my top 100. Not always, but usually my top 100 because those are the games that have no external pressure. Because the problem is, most of the time I have games that I want to play with external pressure. So for example, Living Force, good example of a game. I played that recently, successful, actually taught it to me on BGA. Great, played on BGA, liked it enough, I literally bought it the next day. I was like, I want this game, but now I need to play it again because I don't review games I played once. I want to play it again and get a few plays of it. So it's both a game I like and a game that I will get content out of. So if I'm choosing between a game that I like or a game that I like and will get content, this one just makes more sense, right? That just makes more sense, that's inherently. Now there is a chain where it gets harder to do that math, which what if it's a game that I'm not excited about, but it's for content? So looking at myself over here, again, I've said this before, Borderlands. I like Borderlands, I've actually played, I've demoed it at a convention, but I wasn't in love with it. I liked it. So Borderlands is now going down. I'd rather play a game I like, but Borderlands is content, so I have to balance it as a review copy. It gets a little hard at points. But effectively, every game has different pressures onto why I should play it, between what I like, between what other people in my group want to play, and between the desire for content. And ultimately, sometimes games that show up that I did enjoy, but they might be a little harder to table, and they might not result in new content, and they are lower down other things. Zoo Tycoon is a 4 to 5. I like Zoo Tycoon. Really like it, really recommend it, but now it's in this dead zone where the next year or 2 years will define as to whether it gets played, and then elevated and seen or not, or whether it gets lost to the valley of I play 350 new games a year, and some things, great as they are, don't get played. But yeah, that's where we are with Zoo Tycoon. You should plan ahead like I do and have more Wi-Fi delivered before the next stream. Professor Meg, I'll get on that. I'll call my person and tell them that. Have you had any experience with the Japanime games? Some of their games look cool, but I don't see a ton of glowing reviews for the company as a whole. I have had experience with Japanime games. Epic 7 Arise was the worst review I've ever given on a dedicated video. It wasn't their game, to be fair. They distributed it, but they distributed it because it works for their target audience. It's a heavy anime theme. Their games, I've played and reviewed a few of the games. They are mediocre games from the ones I've experienced. I think they're leaning towards an audience that cares more about what their games look like as opposed to what their game's gameplay is like. And that's an opinion that could be wrong. If someone out there is like, no, I love the gameplay of Japanime games, and I think they're really the best of the best in terms of their gameplay, by all means, I'm happy if you enjoy them. So far, I haven't seen that target audience. I've seen the target audience that buys their games, but not necessarily because of glowing gameplay reviews. So, I'd be reluctant to take on more Japanime games because I don't love taking on games that are, like I said, Borderlands, where it's lower interest just for content. I have plenty of games that are higher interest for content. Why should I take on lower interest ones? And just to be clear, I like Borderlands. Borderlands is higher than a Japanime game for me. I'm just being it as an example of a game that's a little lower on my interest level. Gotta love getting wrenched by Alex. Yeah. Waiting for my all-in Pledge of Primal, my most anticipated game coming up, but the wait is killing me, starting to doubt this will ever turn up. I think it's turning up, but I hear you on that. This is falling into Wild Ascent and Storm Thunder and all these other categories of games that you're like it seems like we'll get it, right? Right? Someone say right. Someone in the room say right. I'm looking for someone else to confirm that we're getting it. Rory, I'm old school like that. Good morning, Meg. How's it going? When we have Ice Vanguard campaign by Alex and Meg, it's on the list. Meg and I recently went through our games, our campaign games to try to. So there's like 40 campaign games that need to be played. In fact, also AP. We just talking. I played Everdell Farshore last night with AP and Meg, and then we had a conversation as well as to what campaign games we're trying to do, because some of them Meg and I might stream, some of them we'll just play and then review, and some of them, like, we're looping in which ones AP wants to be involved in as well, because he has a little bit less bandwidth. He doesn't review games for a living, but he likes playing games, so we're trying to pick those. So ISS Vanguard campaign, I don't know if it'll be streamed or not. I don't think it will. I like the practical reality is streaming through a lot of these big box games is a lot, and there's not enough streaming time going on. So like, there are games that you'll get continued film content for. We're currently playing through Agamonia right now. It's starting off as a paid playthrough series. We'll see how far it goes, and then they may continue playing for it, or we might just choose to continue streaming it, well, filming it, or we might choose to play it on the side. But those are all decisions around bandwidth, which is the biggest problem. Have you heard of a solo mode for the Godfather game? There's a lot of Godfather games. So the short answer is no, in general, but there's a lot of Godfather games. Hi, person Meg. Metroid getting wrenched is more of a curse. George, I can unwrench you. Like, George, you have said like 7 times in the past month about how, like, you've made comments about not wanting to be a mod. I can unwrench you. You know, George, that's it. That's it. Can I do it over here? Can I do it over here? Remove a standard moderator. George, you have been unwrenched, okay? Now you have to ask for it back. To be clear, genuinely not meant to be a punishment. I just don't know whether you want the wrench or not, and you've made a few comments, so I'm going to remove the wrench. Jacob, give it back. There we go. There we go. Done. Okay, good. I wasn't sure. Standard monitor. I genuinely wasn't sure. I love you. You're great. Just don't know what the detail is. Okay. Petrify, getting wrenched. Jacob, I want to add Zombicide to my collection, but only want one of them. Which edition should I get? I recommend Marvel Zombies if you like the IP, and otherwise Zombicide Black Plague if you can get your hands on it, and otherwise, because the problem is Marvel Zombies if you like the IP, Black Plague if you can get your hands on it reasonably. Otherwise, Undead or Alive. Undead or Alive is currently my 3rd favorite Zombicide. It's very close to the first 2, which are those 2. There's reasons I've gone into before, but I still recommend it as a great Zombicide. I love the channel, by the way. I should have started with that. I appreciate it, Matt. You are a prince. Talk to the hand. Do you have any house rule for So Clover? I tried the original game and did not like it. I don't know what you didn't like about it. So the short answer is my only house rule is you haven't really won unless you get it on the first try. But like, ultimately, So Clover's a game I just play for the experience. I have a lot of fun with it, and then I keep playing it. But I don't know what your issue was and what house rule would adjust that. But I don't actually house rule much. I kind of ignore their sense of anything. Like, they have, I don't know. I just play the game. Eric, I'll watch all the invitation content, just saying. Oh, I mean, so the problem with any game, here's the problem whenever you lean into any game. And it's fascinating, because like, you take games like Minecraft, or right now, Pal World. Anyone who wants to get into streaming video games right now, jump in on the Pal World trend. Get on it right now before it takes off more, because I guarantee you it's already. The day to get on the Pal World trend as a streamer was like 4 days ago, and really 6 days ago. But anyways, video games have such large audiences that they usually have dedicated audiences around hot enough titles. Board games don't have that. Like, even Gloomhaven, the largest games, like, your dedicated Gloomhaven streamers are still smaller than your average, board game content creator. Board gamers go wide, they don't go deep. Any individual person does. There are individual people who go deep. But that means that, the video that might get 5,000 views on a general, here's a bunch of reviews, whatever it is, as soon as you, like, for instance, Tenaris is a good example. I'm playing Tenaris, whatever it is. The first video gets 5,000. Second video got like 7,000. And then after that, they're like, 3,000, 1,500, like 1,000. The people who stick with you through dedicated content of the same thing, they are a small subset. Whichever channel you go to, it's just very hard to have a large subset of people who are interested enough in that game to give you the views. So usually when it comes to dedicated content, I have to want to play it. And stream, that's the thing, because like, if I'm playing Agamonia myself, there's no stress, there's no pressure, I'm just playing Agamonia myself. I don't have to worry about, like, well, if we're filming it, it changes the whole conversation. Because if I'm playing Agamonia, right now, for example, right now, Meg and I have filmed the first 3 games of Agamonia, we're about to film the 4th. In order to film the 4th, I now have to go through the rulebook and prep for all the things that will come in the 4th scenario. Because I can't just, if I was playing it just with Meg unfilmed, I could just continue playing it. I could just be like, hey, I'm playing Ammonia, and I'll pull up the rulebook as I have questions, because I already know 95%, and I can use the rulebook for 5%. When I do a film gameplay, I need to know 100%. So there is an extra pressure that's present, and that pressure has to be compensated by why am I doing this? Is it because I need content on the channel? No, I'm overflowing with content, and I have too much content. So is there a monetary incentive? Well, the views you get in a video are like, if you get looking at the sheer views and the ad spend, you get like $7, something like that. So like, is the $7 worth like taking that hour and a half of gameplay and adding an extra level of pressure? And the answer is usually not as well. So the reasons often can be a publisher sponsoring the content, which I only offer. What I do is, in general, we do paid gameplays on the channel in general, but for paid ongoing gameplays, I only offer that for games that I know I already like, and I do a lower rate. So just for example, full transparency and all that stuff, currently the average playthrough on the channel, that if you're seeing Meg and I do a playthrough for an upcoming game whatnot, it's probably around $600 for that gameplay. It's in the range, it depends on how complex it is, but it's probably around $600. Versus for the Agamonia, I quoted them $250 for the gameplays because I want to play the game anyway, and that incentive makes it worthwhile for the editing, the upload, these time slot, all of those things. But the other way, and this is the trickier one to navigate, is in theory, if you have a dedicated enough fan base who's part of your supporter fan base, your Ko-Fi, your Patreon, and they want that, I would do that. Because the other reason I would do it is if I know, let's make up magical numbers here. Let's say I have a total of 400 people who are financially supporting the channel, and 50 of them wanted to see a certain game. I would do that. Because if you are already supporting the channel, I want to give you the content that, well, I want to give everyone the content they want. The reality is, if you are paying money to the channel, I more want to give you what you want because you're helping support me. I want to give you what you want. So the question is how to navigate that. But yeah. Skid Wister, love your content. Please slow down your delivery. So I don't even try to slow down my delivery on live streams. The only way I can keep up with as many people as possible is to talk as fast as possible. So on live stream content, I don't even try. I will never try. I shouldn't say never try. I will probably never try because I have to trade off of if I go slower, then the people who want to hear me go slower have a bit more absorption, but then I can respond to less people. So no matter what, there's a trade-off, and I'd rather just talk at my natural speed or 10% higher than my natural speed. But in other content, I acknowledge that I could probably go 10% slower, and people wouldn't mind that much. Okay, let's go back to where that was me jumping ahead. Let me go back to where I was up to. Let's see. I will watch all your Vindication content, the number one game. D Trooper, how do you manage to play one new game per day, and you in that abundant sea of games, what makes the game stand out amongst others? Oh, this is a good question. Okay, I play a new game a day because, first of all, just to be clear, we're also cheating here. So, for example, yesterday, I played 5 new-to-me games. Yeah, 5. They were all button shy games, so there is that aspect of things, but they were new to me. But that's like, I could play 5 new button, and they count as new to me games. 100% they do. But I can play 5 new button shy games, and it's still less time than learning the rulebook for Dante the Inferno. So I just have the rulebook next to me. That's why I said that. But the short answer is, I read a lot of rules. I play a lot of games. I force myself through it. I love what I do, and so it does work for me. 2 years ago, I challenged myself to play a new game every day, and I played like 370 new games, something like that. I don't remember the exact number. Last year, I didn't even try. I just did whatever happened, and I played 397 new games. So I don't have an answer except for the fact that I love what I do. What makes a game stand out? That is a harder question. And something like Tom Vassell recently put out a video of what problems with being a board game reviewer, and one line he said that's very, very true is you have to be able to critique a game amongst the other things in the industry, but you also have to give a game enough fresh eyes that someone might be playing that game for the first time. In other words, I might be critical of a game because I'm like, ugh, it doesn't do anything new. But someone who's new to games might play that and be wowed by it. It might be a great new game for them. And so a game that is good, but just not necessarily good by the standards that are out there, like, how do you approach that? You have to approach it from all angles. And the short answer is it's hard. It's hard. But I try to do what I can, and some games will stick out for me, some games will stick out for you, and the ones that do stick out, if it does, what makes the game stick out? I've not gone very far into it, but I have played it a lot, just mostly the first chapter. Successful Madara, yes, that's on the list too. 7th Citadel, finally getting shipping notifications. Oh, dear lord, that's another game added to the list. Pizza on the way. Enjoy it, Meg. What do you think about Tapestry and the New Balance kit? I think that most people who've enjoyed Tapestry until now are still going to enjoy Tapestry, and most people who don't enjoy Tapestry, the New Balance kit, I don't think is going to make a difference. Should you get it? If you like Tapestry, I think it's worth getting it, but I don't think it should change your mind on the game. For most people. There is going to be that one person who does like Tapestry, but has a real problem with the balance, and that, like, I can see that, but I think it's a small subset. Did it ever happen that you didn't truly enjoy playing a new game because you sort of had to because of the need to create content, produce sponsored videos, etc.? So, yes and no. I don't think it's as binary as that. Did someone knock? I don't think so. I don't think it's as binary as that. I have had... There are times when for example, let's take Legacy of You. Legacy of You is a good example here. I played Legacy of You, and I really liked it. And then I wanted to create content on it because it's a new game, so I continued to play through it, and I played through it, and I didn't finish the whole game. I played, like, I don't know, 5-6 missions, but I played all that through in, like, a week and a half or so, I think I would have enjoyed Legacy U a lot more had I played it once a week instead of, 6 times or 5 times. I think it was 6 times actually, because I played the first mission twice. So 6 missions in like a week and a half. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had spaced it out. Now, I didn't not enjoy it, but the repetitiveness of it was present. And that's happened recently as well. There was another game, I can't remember, it was a dragon game by, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a recent crowdfunding campaign that I played through like 4 or 5 missions in like a day and a half, 2 days, as opposed to had I played it one at a time. And so I noticed the repetitiveness. It's not that the forcefulness of doing it makes me not enjoy it, but it means sometimes you'll notice repetition more if you're playing through it more aggressively. But the tricky part is, like, it's impossible, as a board game reviewer, it's impossible to really cover games the way they'd naturally be played, because the joke I often make is if you're going to cover games the way they naturally be played, is you would get the game, put it on your shelf, 6 months later you'd play it, then 7 months later after that you'd play it again, and then you'd review it. Or play it more times as well if you want. But, like, it's not... You have to kind of get the content out when people want the content, but that means there is a pressure. I think the pressure absolutely affects me. I don't think it'll make me not like a game, but I think it'll make me notice things I might otherwise not. But the flip side is true as well, by the way. There have been games that I've enjoyed more because I forced myself to play through them because I had to review it and I wanted to get multiple plays in. I think, again, Wild Descent is a game that it got better for me over those first 3 plays. The third play was where I loved it. The first play I was like, it's okay. What's it called? Lords of Ragnarok, which we already talked about the stream. My first play was, I'd rather play Lords of Hellas. It got better over multiple plays. And as a regular board gamer, I don't give games second plays. If I don't have an obligation to review it, if I don't like it the first time, it goes away. I'm done. I don't need to play it again. Because I review it, I give it multiple plays, and that can change my opinion. So it's a better and worse type situation, but I don't think it's extreme. I think it's edge cases. Pizza, the most basic commodity. No, give it back. It's a joke. Okay, good. We got your mod back. I can time out George. Alex calling George bluff. So, I mean, it's not even a bluff. It's me genuinely not sure. Genuinely not sure. I love George. Happy to have him as a mod, but I also want to make sure he wants to be a mod. Give me the mod powers back. Good. So, I mean, damn, Adam, missed opportunity. Immediately safe again. Barely made it. Hey, Aaron Taylor tends to try Power World, but I'm worried to get stuck in. Meg, do not try Power World. Do not. Also, I don't think Power World is amazing. I enjoy it, and part of my incentive is most of my kids are currently playing Power World too. So for me, it's a bonding opportunity. I do use video games as a bonding opportunity with my kids. I try to play the things that they're doing. I watch Minecraft videos in the background because they'll sit down around next to me and hang out with me. Not that they won't hang out with me otherwise. It's just another way of hanging out and doing things. I work enough. Like, I'm constantly doing things. I'm constantly busy. But that means I also constantly try to find touch points of how to connect with my children to be a good and present father. And I think I do a good job, but it's an interesting balance. Like, I'm not the dad who comes home from work at 6 o'clock and is like, hey, let's go hang outside and play for 2 hours. I don't. And I will do things with them. Like, during the summer, I'll take them to the park. I'm not, like, not there at all. But I am busy. I'm constantly busy, so I also constantly try to find the touch points. For me, Power World is justifiable because I can then be like literally yesterday, I was like, hey, Yoda and Ricky, come down and look at these new pals I found. And then we had fun, we bonded over it. I don't think I'd continue playing Power World with my schedule if not for that additional incentive. I think it's good, but like Factorio sucked me in hard. But I've moved past that. I've got to my factory. I launched my rocket to the moon, and I was able to step back. I actually have done it, but it's not my go-to. But Massive Darkness 2, it'll hit a lot of the same vibes. It's not exactly the same. There's differences, but Massive Darkness 2, another one I'd recommend is Deliverance. Deliverance has a lot of things to enjoy about it. I'll have a review coming of that one soon. I have things to critique and things to enjoy. But Deliverance or Massive Darkness 2 are both ones that I'd recommend. It requires a more detailed in-person conversation, but those are offhand recommendations. Successful, you can only time me out on like 2 or 5 discords. Professor Meg, do it, no responsibilities. Start streaming Paolo since you fell off Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, you guys are so... You understand she does the content for Board Game Co., right? She does the preview stuff. Anyways. Professor Meg, only try if you like survival games like Minecraft, but I'm having a blast in it. I'm slow rolling it through, very casual. Successful, agreed. Factorio, I got hit hard. I was staying up till 4 in the morning playing Factorio and then getting up the next morning at 7. It was a problem. Fortunately, it was a problem that lasted like 3 to 4 weeks and not 3 to 4 months or years, but Factorio was a hard problem. Versus Power World, I'm kind of taking it easy peasy. Like, I'll play for an hour today and then I won't touch it for 3 days. Like, it's easy. It's only been out for 5 days, but it's much less of a obsession. Skid Wister, love your content. We cover that. Thank you. I will try to talk slower in some videos. Submy, live stream with Meg is worth it because you create a rabbit community that will follow you to New Jersey in the winter. Yes. We try. This week the live stream didn't happen because I'm prepping for next week. Also, I was mindful, like, I was debating. This past Tuesday, I was debating live streaming, and the final push was, like, I was like, I don't want to deal with buffering on the internet, and the internet guy was only coming the next day. Or no, he came that day. And I wasn't even sure if the problem would or wouldn't be fixed. So we didn't stream this Tuesday, combination of busy and the buffering. But the live streaming with Meg will still be a thing. We're aiming for once a week. I'm aiming for once a week. Meg might push me to do more. We'll see what happens, but for right now, I'm aiming for once a week. How do you deal with FOMO? I see so many games I like, oh my god, I want, but I don't have the money for them all or the time. I think the time is the biggest issue. Because for me, it's not about getting the game. I have so many games I don't have time for anyway. I don't really deal with FOMO. I have the FOMO all the time. Every time I play a great game, yesterday we played Everdell Farshot, and I'm like, we should play through the entire Everdell and add the expansions one at a time because I love this system. I do. It's so much fun. It's such a good game. But that's what I think after I play it. And then I go back to my table and I'm like, I have to play Dante. I have to play more of Dante. I've already played Dante. I have to play more of Dante. I have to play, I don't know, so many games. So many games. Delta. I have to play Delta. I want to play Delta. I want to play it. I have to play Flow. Flow's here. I have so many games. Ostia. Villainous. So many things to play. So I just let myself get pulled in whatever direction and try to periodically purge games that don't give me as much joy as Everdell Farshot. Although that would be a lot of games. There's a band. Like, if the games I love the most are here, then I kind of let these games stick around, but then these ones I try to purge as much as I possibly can. Alex is one of the few people I can't listen to at 2x speed. I love the speed of your talking, Alex. Yeah, a lot of people do, which is always the problem, because every time I try to even debate slowing down, there are people who are like, no, you're the only YouTuber I don't have to listen to on 2x speed, and I get it. I get it. 2x is a ride. Professor Meg, mother, I timestamp myself on 2x speed. That's when I do it. I can't otherwise do it. But timestamping, I'm like, let's just go for it. Let's do this. Let's get this done. Are y'all going to West this year? Roy, I don't think I am. I really want to, but Gamma is too important. I think I'm going to try to go to East instead. So I'm trying to go to Dice Tower East. I like West, which is the problem, because I've never gone to East, and I know I like West. I really want to go to West. Just this week, I was looking at the numbers and trying to figure it out, but the extra costs of, forget even the room and all that, just literally just the cost of getting there and dealing with leaving Gamma, and then if I go to West, I can't drive to Gamma, I have to fly to Gamma. So my instinct is it won't happen, but I am open to it. Make me an offer I can't refuse. Not that you actually should make me an offer I can't refuse, but I mean, if there's some reason that I get pushed into it, we can talk. Alex, back in the day, like 2017, I bought a game for you on BGG, then added a game save on shipping. You sent me the wrong one. I didn't want to bother sending it to you, but I forgive you. Julio, I'm sorry. I will make good on it. Send me an email. I'll make good on it. Genuinely. Like, I mean, one of the things, well, I've talked about some other things, but if you send me an email, alex@boardgameco.com, I will 100% make good on it. I have done so. Even after Board Game Co. has closed, there have been 2 or 3 times where someone has, I think it's like maybe 3 times over the past year and a half, whatever, that someone's reached out and been like, hey, this never got resolved, and I resolved it for them. The reality is it's easier to do that right now than it was while I was running it. Like, while I'm running it, you're dealing with all the orders, all the new things coming in, and I still resolved issues, but there definitely were things that got let slide, and it sounds like you didn't even tell me. It sounds like, but tell me and I'll resolve it. Preston, I may be in the minority, but I still send this one Alex on 2.9 speed, but I have to be actively paying attention to the video, otherwise it doesn't work. I agree. That's why I do it when I'm timestamping. Interwebs, buffering. I hate it. I'm calling them up right after this. This is incredible. And then that's it. Then we're done. Petrified. Professor Meg of House Oak, first of her name, Queen of the Rabbits, first campers, protector of all the galaxies, the mother of me for the final girl, and the box sitter of Instagram. Aww. Meg Break Counter 2 today. Sound is cutting in and out every second. It's bad. I don't like that. Easy peasy, beautiful girl. I refreshed. It's acting better for me. Alex, would we be in trouble if we gift Pal Roll to Meg? No. Not at all. No, not at all. She only gets paid when she finishes the video, so she might be in trouble. That's a different story. Thanks, Adam. That fixed it for me. Hello, Caleb from Edinburgh, Scotland. When you have a group coming over, do you have a planned game for that group or let them choose from the whole collection or somewhere between? I'd say you almost always somewhere between. So my general goal is by the time people are coming over, I usually want to have the game picked out. Almost always. Because I can set it up. I can just set it up and we save so much time. Why should you be here for the setup? That's my ideal. It's not always the way it works, especially if I'm going to a friend's house for a game, then I'm being in the game, because then I can't do that. But usually I try to have the game picked out, and often I'll try to do a subset. I'll be like, hey, it's the 4 of us tonight. Here are like 5 games I recommend, or we can just pick whatever. So I'll usually give a recommendation list, and then they'll pick a game from that, but I generally like to know the game beforehand. Now, So here's the question you have to ask yourself. Let's take me as an example. This year was the year that I started backing fewer things on Kickstarter. There are a lot of reasons that contribute to that. There's a lot of reasons. The first reason is the fact that, well, actually, this is not in a particular order, but the reasons I used to back, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 games a month. And now, if you're lucky, I back a game a month. If you're lucky, I do not back as much. Now, there are several factors that go into this, but the first one to get out of the way is I do get games from publishers, and that includes crowdfunding games. Just recently, I had a publisher reach out with an older crowdfunding game that I happened to not back, and they offered me it. So I am in that fortunate position. But the flip side of that is I was in that fortunate position last year too, and I was still backing 5 to 10 games a month. So what changed? And there's 3 things that changed. I think 3. Maybe we'll add a 4th if I can remember as I go. Number 1 is crowdfunding. The deals on crowdfunding have gotten worse. So that is a factor. The relative reason to buy on crowdfunding has gotten worse over time. It's just harder to justify it. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is because, practically speaking, I had to cut back for financial reasons. I started traveling a lot. Post-COVID, I started traveling a lot more to conventions. And while buying new games does bring me joy, so does going to conventions. And that has more joy because, well, for a little more complicated, but it's more joy, and it's also good for, you know, my space in the industry, networking, connecting, all of that stuff. So I chose to spend more time at conventions than a time buying new games. Also, I always had an overflow of games, so I don't need the new games versus the conventions. I want that. So it was basically swapping where my excess hobby money went to. That's reason number 2. And again, financially I'm fine, but I still have to make choices. I'm still operating with a degree of bandwidth of what I can spend before it's being irresponsible. And then reason number 3 is I have too many games. And that was true last year, but I started to realize, like, every time I look at a game that I want to back on Kickstarter, like right now, behind me on the shelf, there's Evacuation. I want to play Evacuation. It's not an obligation. It's not a review copy. I bought it myself. I want it. I mean, I did buy it, so there's that conversation, but we'll ignore that. But I want to play Evacuation right now. So right now, we have Storm Raiders on Kickstarter. I want to back Storm Raiders, but I'm already not playing so many of the games I love, and I'm already not playing some of the games I haven't played yet. So, like, why am I adding to that unplayed games pile? So my general answer is you should stop getting unplayed games if it doesn't fit a new category. Meaning, even with an unplayed, I allow myself a bandwidth. So with my unplayed games, do I have 4-player games, 3-player games, 2-player games, area control games, Euro games, party games? Once all the categories are kind of filled, even in just the unplayed, forget the collection, well, I don't need 4 unplayed party games. 1 unplayed party game is great. When I finally play that one, we can get the next unplayed party game. Meaning, even within the concept that you are searching amongst the new stuff, there's still a limit to what your bandwidth is. Why are you getting the 14th area control game when you haven't played the other 13? What is so special? Why is this one magical that the other 13 didn't fulfill that magical quality? And again, that's even ignoring the ones you already have in your collection. So I would say if you already have an unplayed game in your collection that isn't getting played, that fits into a similar category, play that one first before you get the next one. Haven't noticed any buffering or audio issues. Not sure what the time difference is. That is interesting. That is interesting. I'm curious with that. Flow looks interesting and really beautiful. Yes, it does. Roy, I'll sneak you in my room. LOL. I'm missing what conversation that's regarding a reply to. I don't know where that... Who is that? Oh, gotcha. So, Roy, room-wise, I think I'd be fine in Dice Tower West. GameFound is sponsoring or partially sponsoring whatever is the Hot Games room. They're supplying a bunch of games. So, I believe last year I got a free room because I was running the GameFound room to some extent, along with 2 other people. And, I believe I would be fine in the room, so I appreciate that. Also, you're a prince. The truth, I'd rather stay with you. That's a different conversation. But it's not about the room right now. It's just about the travel. I looked just yesterday. Literally just yesterday, I was doing the numbers, trying to figure it out. The problem is, for me, there's travel costs, there's practical costs. I'm going to look into it again now. I'm going to look into it again. Whatever. We'll see. I'll be responsible. Maybe. I don't know. Haven't noticed any buffering. No. The new house is cheaper than Massachusetts. Doesn't need the money. Nickel. That Oatsman I just told you I bought. Ripperoni. My 6-year-old has drawn me on the Oatsman box. Nice. Drawn on. No, not drawn me. Drawn on the Oatsman box. My current 8-year-old, one of the things he loved doing when he was 3 was coloring on all the walls. Fortunately, that trend died with him. But on a regular basis, there'd be Sharpie all over the walls. Fun fact, if you ever get Sharpie in something, one of the ways that you will get it off most things is if you take regular permanent Sharpie on a thing, take some erasable Sharpie, whatever it is, washable Sharpie, what's the term? There's a term for whatever it is. The non-permanent, that's what it's called. Take a non-permanent marker, color over the permanent marker, and then wipe it down. There's a decent chance it'll go away. Yes, this works on computer screens. I've tried it. Have you considered playing a series of games with the same group? I would love if you have a playlist of like 10 games of Innish, for example, with the same group. I mean, I do play games with the same group all the time. Do you mean filmed? I play games all the time with the same group. My group is small enough that they are hitting the same people most of the time, and then there's people who dance in and out. But it's most of the same people. I also didn't want to bother. It's all good, sir. It happens. Love your content. Appreciate it. Never mind, just got a buffing issue right after saying that I haven't gotten any. Oh, I'm only trying to back 2 or 3 games this year. Really trying to back only 2 of them, and one is already back now. Good luck with that. What is your favorite genre of games? See the love of all. I have a degree of love for most genres. I don't like war games, and I tend to not like lighter games. I tend to enjoy them, but then move on. Like, oh, that was a fun little light game. Done, I'll never play it again. Like, lighter games I don't feel the need to continuously play. But I would say my favorite genres are probably... it's hard. I really like area control. I think the genre that I like the most is not an actually named genre. It's a subgenre of Eurogames, but it's a subgenre that some of my favorite games fall into. Terraforming Mars falls into it. Vindication falls into it. Evenfall falls into it. Wave for the Tigers falls into it. A lot of great games. Revive a little bit, not as much. Expeditions falls into it. So there's a subgenre of Eurogames in which the Eurogame is the core, and then the cards totally change everything. So you have a core set of rules within a Euro entity, and then there's just so many cards that the way you interact with the system every time is so different and changes and broken. So like, every time I play Terraforming Mars, it's a different game because of the combinations of cards. Every time I play Vindication, it's a different game because of the combination of cards. I have found that is probably consistently amongst my favorite. The other would probably be like, I don't know, Cooperative Powers and Abilities Dungeon Crawlers. That might be the other one. Hello, Dan. How's it going? Asked Pocket Mars, got Pocket Madness. Oh, I mean, genuinely, send me a line, my god. If you bought it for me, I'll refund it. Not a problem at all. But that I see how that happened, though. I made it. Hello, Prior. He died? No. The trend died with him, Alex? Phrasing? The trend died with him. The trend died with him. Not, he didn't die. Sorry about that. Oh boy, sad news, Alex. Sorry about that. Petrified. Well, at least we know which one hasn't ranked the favorite. How do you connect your BGA plays to BGG? I don't. I think there's a way to do it. I know you can connect your BGG logged plays. Oh, I think... So, if you connect your BGA plays to BG stats, I believe you can have your BGG stats automatically go to BGG. I think you can do that direction. I don't know if you can do... I don't know. I did it once upon a time, but then I stopped. But once upon a time, I connected BG stats to BGG, but then it got confusing trying to figure out, so I unconnected it, but I believe you can do that. How often do you pick the board games in the background? How often forget what's behind it? That way I'm not wasting space, but I'm also not forgetting what's behind something. That's the most common selection or answer. As far as how often do they change, usually when a new big box game comes in, that it fits in that criteria, then I'll look around and be like, what do I want to move around? So it's usually, it requires the trigger of a new game that falls into that category, and then I just shift something around. That, or if a game is leaving, then I have to find something actively to replace it. Let's see, you cannot connect them automatically. You can't connect them, just import the plays from BGA. Are you sure you can't connect them automatically? I could have sworn, I'm not going to do it now. I could have sworn that I had a setting where every time I logged a play in BG stats, it connected to BG. Oh, you're saying BGA. Okay, fine. Yeah, you can't connect BGA to BG stats. To BG, you cannot connect BGA to BGG, but you can connect BGA to BG stats and connect BG stats to BGG. I'm 99% sure that's true. I'm still excited to teach you Living Forest the Canal expansion. Successful. Fun fact, we almost played Living Forest Base last night. After Everdell Farshore, we almost played that, but it was 12:37 at night, and we're like, you know what, let's all be responsible adults because I have so much stuff to get done, and I have like 2 days left to do it. And I have a meeting at, what time is it, by the way? It's 2:12. Oh, we've gone over the hour. Oh, Jenna says never, by the way. Jenna says never. She's not calling Catan 3D. Sorry guys. We tried. Oh, I just got Mistwind, by the way. Dear Lord, there's so many games. Alright, we're going to go ahead and call it now, because I have a meeting in 20 minutes, and I have BGA to BG stats isn't automatic, just a manual import whenever you want. Oh. I thought it was an automatic one. Interesting. I thought it was automatic. I never done it. I got the impression from the last time we talked about this that it was automatic. Alright, we are going to go ahead and call this live stream. It has been an absolutely lovely 73 minutes with all of you. We'll be back next... That's not true. There's no live stream next week. There's no live streams at all next week. Oh. There's probably no live streams next week. I'll say there's probably no live streams next week. There's a chance. The only day I really have next week is Wednesday. But I'll be traveling. Because Sunday through Tuesday is Legoland. Then Thursday through Monday is Level Up. Wednesday is a travel day. I would expect there to not be any live content next week. But on the off chance there is, then there is. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. You are all lovely people, and I will see you in 2 weeks instead. Until next time, hope you all have a good one.